Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rob Hilliker. I'm presenting today on behalf of New Jersey's Open Textbook Collaborative, an OER project funded by the U.S. Department of Education. I serve as the Curriculum Council Manager on the project, in addition to being the Interim Associate Provost for Libraries at Rowan University. My colleague, Marilyn Ochoa, is the PI and the Project Director, and she'll be joining for the live discussion, but I'm delivering the presentation for it on our behalf. So I'm going to move quickly through our slides to maximize the time for conversation, but I do want to give a project overview to really give you a sense of our vision and goals, as well as hopefully generate some good conversation at the end of this panel today. So a quick overview of the project. Rather than reading this slide, what I want to actually do here is draw folks' attention to what I think is novel about our project. Most OER and open textbook programs focus mostly on the cost of education and reducing that cost, understandably so. Others focus on the transformative pedagogical potential of OER. And what our project does, on the other hand, is foregrounding specific career pathways as a way to hopefully fill a gap in the current OER ecosystem. Our aim is to do that by leveraging industry partnerships and target key entry-level courses in the relevant degree programs. To do that, we're awarding funds up to a maximum of $6,000 for a full textbook to incentivize the creation of OER resources to support these courses. Now, given the career and technical education focus, you'll see that folks from community colleges predominate on our project leadership team. We've also allocated significant resources towards developing our publishing platform. We're working with Sobek Digital on that. And then we have also brought on board a bunch of instructional designers as well as librarians to support the funded content creators to make sure we're creating really top-notch resources. I also want to highlight that we have a key partnership with the New Jersey County College Consortium. Jake Farbman is listed here, but there are a number of other individuals at the NJCCC who have been really important in supporting this project. And they have already built out a lot of industry contracts in the 4 growth sectors we're targeting as part of their Career Pathways initiative. So I just want to share with you, this is their pathway model. And as you can see, it accounts for the diverse and divergent routes that people take to and through their careers. And it recognizes too, that there's a wide range of stakeholders with a natural stake in the success of our project, all the way from high schools and community-based organizations to the community colleges, the 4-year institutions like Rowan, and then all the industry partners and so on. So really, we're thinking about all of these pathways and not just reducing the barriers to, an education in terms of cost, but reducing the barriers to a career in terms of cost. So I think the key to the strength of our partnership with NJCCC is that the goals of their project align very closely with the goals of our project. And so by focusing on courses that are foundational to these targeted career pathways, our efforts are going to really make us a force multiplier. The decrease in textbook costs will increase equity of access, and it will also encourage more students potentially to pursue careers in these growth industries that in many cases are struggling to source qualified employees to fill open positions. So this list of growth industries probably won't surprise people. There's notable growth in all 4 of them, certainly in New Jersey, but I think that's true in many states around the country. And obviously with the impending infrastructure package, really whichever form it ends up taking, it will likely lead to an increase in growth in these areas. It may also lead to transportation becoming a natural 5th target industry if we, if we're successful and really do well by serving these 4. I do want to highlight all of these industry areas are clearly quite sensitive to technological advances. So having a flexible set of education pathways is really a key for them to filling those well-paying jobs that they have with well-equipped employees. That said, I don't want you to get the idea we're radically skewing our curricula and course offerings to blindly cater to short-term industry needs here. This list of initial Courses that we're soliciting proposals for, it is STEM heavy due to the industries that we prioritized, but this project will benefit many students who aren't necessarily pursuing the narrow career tracks or pathways that we've highlighted. Many of them have broad application. And in my introduction, I foregrounded that one goal of this project is to establish a statewide vision for OER creation and use. Those of you at this conference who are not from the Northeast may not be aware that New Jersey is famous for having more municipalities than any other state. And each city, town, and village operates as its own little fiefdom, fire and police and all of that. Everything is separated. And frankly, that culture can inhibit attempts to have a statewide approach to addressing shared problems. So for that reason, we've intentionally created our core team that has representation from different regions around the state. And each of us is able to leverage our local connections to build what ends up being a statewide team by virtue of that distribution. I will also highlight that, our vision is really a participation-oriented one. So we're creating as many possible points of entry for our partners, recognizing we have many different types of partners and many different levels of commitment they're prepared to make. So, with that in mind, there's a lot of ways to get involved in making this grant a success. Oops, I sped past the timeline there. So our grant funding covers a 3-year project life cycle. So it gives us some time to build up that network of partners, to scale up our OER creation pipeline, to enhance the open publishing platform, and also to promote adoption and adaptation of the open textbooks and other OER materials that we're going to fund the creation and support the creation of. As I speak to you now, we're on the verge of announcing our first round of awards and initiating training opportunities for faculty, librarians, and instructional designers who'll be using the open publishing platform. We also have weekly office hours that we're maintaining every Thursday at noon, so people can find, whether it's the project director, the project manager, me, or another member of the executive team, to answer their questions. Speaking of questions, this is where I would ask if you have any, but I'm assuming we'll need to hold questions until the entire panel is gone. So I do, though, want to encourage everybody to check out our Project Live guide, which lives at the link here. That's bit.ly/open text collab NJ. So please give it a look. There's a lot of additional information and resources there, and I look forward to having a chance to talking with everybody. All right, bye-bye.